started. Welcome, everybody. My name is Sally Edwards, and I'm the co-president of the Peninsula chapter, along with Bob Hall. And we are delighted to have so many people registered, and those of you who actually are here, we're even more delighted that you showed up. This is going to be a great presentation by Matt Goncalves. Is that how you pronounce your name, Matt? On InnoCaption. But before we do that, one of our members, Elliot Terborg, where are you, Elliot? I saw you there. There you are. Elliot is going to just speak for a couple minutes about something to do with his experience in HLAA and why we're members and whatever he wants to share. So, Elliot, you're on. 2 to 5 minutes you've got. Can you hear me, Elliot?
I think Elliot's just on mute.
Oh. Elliot is muted.
I got it. I'd say my Happy New Year greetings all over again. My apologies. No, it's good to see everyone. Good to see JD, Sally, Carolyn. Good to see you again. A lot of familiar faces. So that's good. Sally asked me to say a few words about HLAA National, and I'd be happy to do that. I joined this organization in about 2017 and immediately joined the National as part of that. And it's been a big help to me in many different ways. And I'm speaking both of the local chapter and of course the National. I think both provide a vehicle for education and particularly technical education in developments in hearing aids, assisted living listening devices, cochlear implants, and the like, and as well as a general support network. I think so. These comments today are really just directed toward those who may not already be a member of HLAA. It's an organization based in Washington, D.C. They have chapters all over the country. I don't know the exact number, but some number of thousands of members. And they put out a magazine every month, maybe bi-monthly now, called Hearing Life, that always has not only a lot of good technical information, but a lot of stories that other people have shared dealing with their hearing loss and the experience about that. So it's a worthwhile organization. They do a lot of lobbying in Washington, D.C., advocacy for people with hearing loss. They do focus on captioning, on loops, on hearing aids, on trying to get Medicare to cover hearing aids, for example. So it's very much of an advocacy organization for Capitol Hill, as well as running a national convention that many of us have been to every summer in June. So just to wrap up, if you're not already a member of HLAA, we hope we'll reach out and decide to join. They have a great website, hearingloss.org, and a lot of information on the website, and dues of $45 a year will get you the magazine and get you registered. So we hope it's something you'll consider for your New Year's resolution.
Thank you very much, Elliot. You stayed within your 2 to 5 minutes too. Good for you. Sometimes that's hard. When I get talking about HLAA, I always go over my limit. I can tell you that. Okay. Anyhow, we're ready to start the presentation, and Matt Goncalves is the marketing director for InnoCaption. And I know you have your team also with you. So if you would just tell us about yourself, your team, your business, and fill us all in, Matt.
Yes, absolutely, Sally. First things first, thank you guys so much for inviting us for the presentation. It's a wonderful way to start our 2024 year. Like Elliot said, Happy New Year to everyone. Sally, we actually have slides that introduce the team. I think we can get the presentation started and we'll cover that as well.
Yes, let me just share my screen and you guys can let me know when you can see it. Okay, is everybody able to see our screen?
Perfect.
Awesome. So I'm Aurora. I'm here with InnoCaption. It is an app for real-time captioning calls. Like she said, this is our team, Matt, myself, and Danielle. Matt, I'll let you introduce yourself and what you do here.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Matt. Like Sally mentioned, I'm the marketing director for InnoCaption. I've been with the InnoCaption team since we launched our app in 2016. So coming up on 8-9 years at this point, time does fly by. We started InnoCaption by doing HLAA presentations. Back in the day, we were in person. That was before COVID. So the way we got the word out was by going to these chapter meetings in person, talking to people about InnoCaption, and things took off. And thanks to technology, now we're able to do these presentations virtually. So like I said in the beginning, we're very happy to be here. I'll pass it on to Aurora so she can introduce herself as well.
Yes, good to be here. It's exciting to have a group like this. We actually attended the HLA convention in New Orleans, so hope to see familiar faces too for the one in Phoenix this year. But I'm Aurora, so I'm the marketing manager. So I work with Matt and Danielle closely with a lot of our organic social content and newsletters and any kind of marketing materials you would see, actually even like the ads like you mentioned for Hearing Life. And I've been with the team for almost 3 years now and just have enjoyed every moment. And Danielle, you can share.
Hi everyone, I'm Danielle. I've been with InnoCaption for just under a year and a half now. Love being part of the team, and I work with Matt and Aurora, and I handle mostly our social media. I write our blogs, and then I work closely with influencers in the deaf and hard of hearing community as well. I'll pass it back over to Aurora, and then we can go ahead and get started.
Thank you. And just a quick note, like Matt said, if there are any questions, feel free to stop us at all. Feel free to write it in the chat, and we're happy to answer as we go. This is meant to be like a discussion. So I'll just share what we do. InnoCaption is a mobile app that you can download on the App or Play Store. And what the technology does is it allows users to speak while reading the captions, and you're able to see what the other party is saying. This is an app that is free to the deaf and hard of hearing community because of our funding through the FCC. So this is some of our team actually at, I believe this was at HLA conference. And our mission is just to provide accessibility a solution. Our team is a pretty small team, which means that a lot of the feedback, we're able to just closely work with any of those. I saw a hand raise, so go ahead if you have a question about who we are.
Yes, I was wondering, you said that it captions the incoming call. Does it also caption my side of the conversation as well as the incoming side?
What type of phone do you have?
I have an iPhone.
Yeah, so on iOS right now, we do have the option to read what you're saying as well. It's just called two-sided captions, so you're able to see what you're saying as well as the other party. It's just a simple option that you're able to enable.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I actually think we covered it in the feature, so we'll be able to show you a visual of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Who we serve, like we said, this is for the deaf or hard of hearing within the United States, and due to our funding, the service is provided free of charge, and it is intended for people to be able to use it to caption to understand mobile phone calls. Our leadership, if some of you may have met Joe Zor, he attends a lot of the conferences in person, has done a lot of accessibility work, and Joseph Lee. So these are two our co-CEOs who actually partnered and met years ago by discovering the technology, and Joe was able to make a phone call live that day, and they basically came together and launched what we have today. I'll pass it to Matt for our features.
Yes, and just want to say again, you guys, we're going to go over the features now. So if anybody has any questions about anything that we're covering, please feel free to raise your hand and I'll go back and try to explain it better. But in front of you, you guys can see the main features that we have today for the InnoCaption app. When you download our app, you're able to still use your cell phone number. When you make an outgoing call, the person will recognize that it is that's calling them. You can also select to use an InnoCaption number, a number that's separate from your original number. So we give our users the choice how they want to be recognized when they make that outgoing call. Now, human or AI caption switch, InnoCaption is the only company that's providing captions through a live stenographer. So we have a real person typing what's being said. And again, it's user choice. If a user wants to have a call captioned by a stenographer, they can do that. If they prefer to have that call being captioned by automatic speech recognition, they can do that as well. The great thing about the app is that you can switch between a stenographer and AI. And people ask me, why would I do that? And I always bring up Joe's example. Joe, who Aurora mentioned, is our co-CEO. He's also a bilateral CI user of InnoCaption. Joe was born in Portugal, so he has a deaf and Portuguese accent. Now, when Joe uses the InnoCaption app, or if someone is calling him with a deaf accent or a different speech pattern, AI doesn't caption that call as well. So Joe is able to switch from AI to stenographers and back and forth as his accessibility needs dictate. Again, with InnoCaption, our users are the only ones that are able to make that switch between stenographer and AI as much as they need to during that call. The next feature that you see on your screen is Desk View. Most of our presentation is going to focus on InnoCaption for the cell phone, but you can also use InnoCaption on your laptop, desktop, iPad, Android, tablet. There are today many, many ways that you can use InnoCaption. The only thing that we don't currently offer is a landline solution. So everything is made to be on the go for you as the user. And the last feature on this page is the great question that Sally brought up, two-sided captioning. Now, one thing I want to mention, this is only available to our iPhone users currently. We are working to make this update available to our Android users as soon as possible, and it is coming out soon. But for iPhone users, as you can see on your screen right now, InnoCaption is able to caption both sides of the conversation, what the person is saying and what you're saying. And again, it's user choice. If you want to see both sides of the conversation, you can have that feature enabled. If you only want to see what the person is saying and don't want to see what you're saying, you can disable that feature. So everything that we do, we try to make it user choice. Any questions about any of the features that we started covering? If not, I'm going to ask Aurora to move on to the next slide. Okay, so now we're going to go into some of the things that I talked about, just a little bit more into detail. The first one is keeping your existing phone number. Like I mentioned, we have a patent one number system that links your existing number to our service. So as soon as you download and set up InnoCaption on your phone, during the onboarding process, we'll explain to you how you can keep using your existing cell phone number. The next one is the dual caption mode. Like I mentioned, InnoCaption, as a user, you're able to switch between AI, which is automatic speech recognition, or a human live stenographer. And like you see here, we like to say that we put you, the user, in control with the ability to switch between those modes depending on your accessibility needs. And the next one is the two-sided captions. Like I mentioned, this is an update that the team at InnoCaption is extremely excited about. For about a year and a half, our users have been asking us for a way to see both sides of the conversation, but we didn't want it to be forced. We wanted to be user choice. So today for iPhone users, you can select to see both sides of the conversation, and hopefully soon enough, we'll have a major update for our Android users as well. Now, one thing that we're also very excited about with this latest update is that we've been adding more and more secondary languages. Now, InnoCaption does not offer translation. This is if you speak a different language. So in my case, I was born in Brazil. I speak Portuguese. If I want to make a call to a friend in Portuguese, I can select in the InnoCaption app Portuguese as my secondary language, and the conversation will be captioned in that language. I believe right now we have over 15 languages that you can select from, all the major ones, and we're always asking our users to let us know if there's any language that you're looking for that's not currently available. Like Aurora said, we have a lean team that moves very fast. We love getting feedback because it's very easy to pass it to our engineering team. So let us know if you're looking for specific secondary language and it's not available currently in the InnoCaption app. Customizable font, we get that question all the time. Can I make the font as big as I want, as small as I want? And yes, you can. On the phone, all you have to do is pinch out, pinch in, and then you can enlarge, make the font smaller. You can change the color of the background as well. You can make it as customizable as you'd like. I'd also like to point out that we have a dyslexic font. We had one user email us telling us that the fonts that were available didn't really work for them. They needed something very specific, and we were able to download and included a dyslexic font in the InnoCaption app as well. This is just to say, if there's something missing in the app for you as a user, please let us know, let our support team know. We'll try our best to make sure that's included in the app for future updates. I think this is the last one that I want to mention. It's a text-to-speech option. It's not a majority of our users, but we do have some users that would rather type rather than talk. Now, right now, because of our certification, we're not able to offer a full text-to-speech. This is mostly for when you call an automated system and they ask for short answers like yes, no, or asking for you to input a number 1, 2, then you can text that instead of speaking. This was another feature that was created because of Joe, our co-CEO. He was tired of calling banking systems that would ask him to say yes, no, confirm. And because of his accent, those systems were not able to pick up what he was saying. And he kept pressing 0 to go to a live person. So with this option, the limited text to speech, Joe can text yes or no and carry on with his conversation for these automatic systems. Oh, there's one more. This is one that our users absolutely love, especially if it's a long call and you forget something that was said, for example, a cell phone number or an address. If you don't have a pen and you can't write that down during the call, anytime you hang up, you'll be able to go back and review the transcript of that conversation. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if it's an important conversation, make sure that you save that on your cell phone, on your InnoCaption app. The reason why I say this is because we at InnoCaption, we do not have access to your transcripts. It doesn't happen a lot, but every now and then someone will email us asking us to retrieve a transcript that they lost. We cannot, because of our privacy rules, we do not have access to our users' transcripts. The good news is that you're able to either easily save that transcript on your InnoCaption app, you can text it to yourself, you can email it to yourself as well. So there's several different ways to make sure that those important conversations stay saved on your phone. And
So InnoCaption, thanks, Matt. I'll take it from here.
Go ahead, Danielle, you're ready. Thank you.
InnoCaption is certified and regulated by the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. So what this means is that we're able to provide our service for those in the US with hearing loss at no charge because we're federally funded. So our service is funded and certified by the FCC as part of the Telecommunications Relay Services Fund. And we undergo regular audits as well to make sure that we're meeting all of the requirements set by the FCC. So how do we ensure privacy? So for our users who choose to receive captions via a live stenographer, our stenographers are only able to hear one side of the conversation. So they only hear what the other party is saying. They won't hear what you're saying on your side. And then for our users who choose automatic speech recognition or AI generated captions, none of the call audio is logged. So we don't have access to any of that whatsoever. And then as Matt just mentioned, call transcripts are also, they're only saved locally on your device, so only saved on the user's device. So again, if you have any transcripts that are especially important, be sure to save those. That way you have them for safekeeping and review for the future. And when can InnoCaption be used and when can InnoCaption not be used? So InnoCaption cannot be used for in-person conversations or for any situation where cart services are provided. And you can use InnoCaption for any phone call that a hearing person would make. You can also use InnoCaption for virtual appointments, conference calls, or video calls, as long as they have a dial-in number. And then we invite you to stay connected with us and stay in touch. So if you are on social media at all, you can find us on YouTube, on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, all just at InnoCaption. And if you are on Instagram, then you can find us at InnoCaption app. And then we'll go ahead and open it up now for any questions and for discussion as well.
Yeah, and right off the bat, I want to acknowledge the questions and the comments that we're getting on the chat. First things for Neo, very nice to see you again. We got a great question from Jim. And Jim, honestly, I don't have the answer because we're just now starting to work with the VA. We actually have a meeting with them tomorrow morning, and I will bring this up. Hopefully we can do some testing to make sure that it is compatible. I've written down your name. If you want to share your email with me, I'll keep you updated. As soon as we're out of that meeting, I'll send you more information. But with that being said, Carrie, I do see that you have your hand raised. Do you have a question for us? Yeah, go ahead, Carrie.
Okay, thank you. So Carrie Sullivan from the Boston chapter of HLAA. I have used InnoCaption for several years, and I want to say thank you because it has been a lifesaver to me. I can't tell you how many calls I could not navigate confidently or at all, honestly, without being able to take advantage of the captioning. I actually have to train myself now to listen more because it's so good that I've just become to rely on just reading versus listening. So that's my problem. But I do want to ask a question about just the line quality. So sometimes I find that when I try to make calls, it's just the reception is not great. And I don't know what I can do, if anything, to improve that. I don't know if there's, a feature or, shutting other things on my phone or anything, but it appears to me sometimes that the reception on those lines is not as great as what I would get if I called directly and used Otter or something else to, listen to my iPad out loud, which is not my preference, but that's what I experienced.
Yeah, totally understand you, Carrie. Let me ask you a couple questions. And of course, I'm also going to connect you with our support team so we can look more in depth into these calls and why that's happening. But do you have any Bluetooth devices connecting you with your cell phone right now? A Bluetooth hearing aid or a Bluetooth cochlear implant? Do you have an iPhone right now as well, or is it an Android?
So I have an iPhone and I have hearing aids that are connected to the phone.
Okay, I have terrific news. You're not the only, well, first let me give you the bad news is that you were not the only one that was experiencing exactly what you mentioned. One thing that our engineers found out is that the Bluetooth connection was having an impact on calls. We literally just released major update yesterday trying to fix exactly that. So the next time that you download the latest InnoCaption update, I would love to hear from you if those types of issues are no longer happening. So I have written down your name. I'm going to ask our team to get in touch with you. And like I mentioned, we will, no matter what, look more into the system to see if there's anything else that's creating that. But I'm hoping that it was the connectivity issue and that this new update that we just sent out yesterday is the fix that you're looking for.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Also, you mentioned you're with the Boston chapter. We're on the West Coast, but if you'd like us to do a presentation with you guys, Matt at InnoCaption.com, anytime, we'd be more than happy to be with you guys as well.
That would be great. Definitely take you up on that.
Great, thank you. Mike, I see that you have your hand raised.
Thank you. I also had a problem with regard to reception, so I'd be interested in what your answer is to Perry. But my question is that the way I have InnoCaption set up, I have my calls forwarded, and I'm also using the AI. But what I'm wondering is that once your calls are forwarded, am I picking up the phone early enough? Because what happens is that it seems that it takes me about 5 seconds before I can hit the hello. And I'm afraid that some people are impatient and are hanging up before I receive the call.
Mike, it's gonna sound like I'm making these things up because back-to-back issues, I'm gonna tell you guys, this last update was made exactly for these issues. I was just having a conversation with Joe, who also uses InnoCaption on the daily, and he was saying the same thing in the beginning, that there's that awkwardness, that 5 seconds where you don't know if you're connected, the person doesn't know if they're talking to someone. This last update that we just sent out is also to address the issue that you just mentioned. So I am also going to write your name down, Mike, and I'm going to send you an email. So after you download this latest update, I would love to hear from you if there's a noticeable difference during your calls.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Great question. Great feedback. Thank you for bringing it up. Next person, Kenneth, do you have a question for us?
Yes, I do. Is there any option to turn on the captioning if you need to? In other words, with my hearing situation, most people I can understand on the phone, but occasionally I get someone who I cannot. Either they're calling me or I'm calling them. Is there any way to switch it on during the call?
Yes, you can absolutely turn off the captions, Kenneth. Now, I'll have to double check with you. That is actually a question that I haven't gotten in a very long time. A couple of years ago, the answer was, if you turn the captions off during the call, the problem is that you won't be able to turn that back on during that call. You'd have to make another call to start receiving captions again. But so much has changed in the last 2 years that might not even be an issue anymore. So to answer your question, however, yes, you can turn it on and turn it off as you please.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, Kenneth, email me, Matt at InnoCaption.com, and I'll share more information with you on how you can do exactly that.
Thank you.
No problem.
And another question. How well does InnoCaption do with accents?
That is exactly why we employ stenographers. We know AI right now, AI keeps getting better and better and better. But when AI tries to caption people with accents, it's still falling a little bit short. That's why we have live stenographers. We have real people for that exactly situation. Our stenographers are also great at providing context of calls. So if the door rings or if there's a dog barking, our stenographers are also able to let you guys know what's going on during those calls.
Thank you.
Elliot, I think you're next.
Yes, thanks, Matt. I believe I was probably one of the early adopters of InnoCaption. I think I go back to 16 or 17 thereabouts when you started. A great product. I think we have communicated with you guys over the years on several issues. A couple of things I'm very glad to see that you've made the modification to caption both sides of the conversation. That's a big thing. But another thing I wonder if you have addressed is retrieving voicemail. The way, and I'll explain why the tenses I'm using. The way InnoCaption used to work, in order to retrieve voicemail, you had to listen to the entire message to get the captions. And then, lo and behold, a couple of years ago, AT&T and my iPhone started captioning messages automatically. So I modified so that my incoming calls would go to AT&T. They would not go to InnoCaption, because I just wanted to really quickly look at the captions and see whether or not I wanted to listen to the message. Question, have you addressed that problem?
Question for you, Elliot. Are you an Android or iPhone user?
iPhone.
Go ahead and check it out. We have completely revamped our voicemail system. It is now exactly how you want it to be. And hopefully, like I've been saying, we'll be able to offer the same thing to our Android users as well. So yes, Elliot, to answer your question, voicemail, I know exactly what you're talking about. You've been with us for a very long time. We got that feedback over and over again. And I'm happy to say with this latest major update, that's when we redid our entire voicemail system as well.
Okay, good to hear, Matt. That's good news.
Great.
I will just note too, just really quickly, it's great to hear that a lot of people are using the app. So if some of these updates pertain to you, just ensure if your app isn't on automatic updates to just select the update app within the app or your app store, just so you can ensure you have all these updated features that we're mentioning.
Great point. Great point. Kathy, I know you have your hand up, but I know Margaret has had her actual hand up for a while. So Margaret, do you have a question for us? And you're muted right now, Margaret. Margaret, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, can you?
Perfect.
Thank you. How can somebody access this video session that wasn't able to attend? Is that a possibility that they could view this? Because there's a lot of information. And if not, how would they contact you and, get the information or the questions they need to ask?
I'm sure the Redwood team will have a link. Like they mentioned, they share the meetings internally. Another way for you to see our meetings, Margaret, all you have to do is if you go on Google and just type InnoCaption, we've done these presentations in the past and they've been shared to other HLAA YouTube pages. The presentation, the one that we're doing today, is a little different because today we're talking about the latest major updates that just came out about a month or two ago. But you can go back and check out past presentations to get an idea of everything that we were talking about here. And I'm also going to share my email in the chat before we're done. So if anybody has any questions, anybody needs any information, I'm happy to ship brochures, physical brochures. We have a digital brochure. You guys will have my email. So just let me know if you have any questions whatsoever.
Thank you so much.
No
Hey,
problem.
Margaret, this is Janie here. I'm the one that was hosting the Zoom meeting here, and I'm recording it. So once it's been edited and captioned and all, send me your email, and then I can send you the link. It goes on the HLAA California website. There's a YouTube section. So the recording will be there, but you'll get it faster if you give me your email.
And you're part of, Jamie, I think I recognize you. You're part of our local chapter, correct?
Yeah, HLAA Peninsula chapter. Yeah.
I'll have my friend get in touch with you because she's also a member but couldn't attend today. And I know
Okay.
she'll be anxious to hear what went on. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Awesome. Great. Kathy, do you have a question for us?
Yes. Um, I started using InnoCaption last year and things were going fine. I have an iPhone and I was able to go to my iPhone to get my voicemail and see who had called me and also peek at the text of the voicemail. And then suddenly the voicemails started going someplace else and I couldn't see them. And when I finally found them somewhere, there were only phone numbers. It didn't show me the name of the contact. I have everybody in my phone. So I started emailing InnoCaption and started dealing with somebody about it. And we were going around in circles and I never got a good answer how to fix it. And I stopped InnoCaption. So are you saying you were talking to Elliot? Did you fix something about that, or where did the voicemail go now?
So we didn't really fix the voicemail. We just changed the way that users are now able to retrieve their voicemails. You no longer have to make that call and wait for someone to type what the voicemail was. It's very similar to the iPhone. If someone leaves you a voicemail, you can get that voicemail caption as soon as you access that voicemail. So it is, if you're saying this happened a year ago, voicemail is completely different today. I would encourage you to re-download and give it a shot. And you have my email as well. I know you mentioned that you try to work with our support team, but if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'll see if there's anything that we can do to help make sure that that voicemail is working the way it should for you.
Where's the email? In the chat?
Let me
Your
share
email?
that right now, and it's a very easy email to remember. It's just Matt, M-A-T-T, at InnoCaption.com. I'm also going to share our support team's email for anybody that has any issues, any questions, anything that you need. We have an amazing support team. If you guys go on the Play Store or the App Store, lately, all the 5-star reviews are people talking about our support team working with someone to help resolve their issues. So I do apologize that you guys went in circle, Kathy, but hopefully if you give it another go, we'll be able to get it working like you need it to.
Great. And then the next question, you kept talking about how you can choose AI to do the captioning or a person. What's the difference? Is there a benefit over one over the other, or how do we decide which one to use?
It's totally up to the user. Heart will always, in my opinion, outperform AI because it is a person that was trained to do exactly that. So I'm never going to tell what works best for you. We think that our users know what works best for them. The good news is that you can easily try both modes during a call because you can switch from one to the other with the push of a button. And it's very seamless. If you're actually talking to someone, they won't even know that you're making that switch because if you start the call with AI, and you switch to a stenographer's, both engines are going to keep captioning at the same time until one takes over the other. So for the person that you're talking to, when you make that switch, they have no idea that you're going from AI to stenographers back to AI if you need to.
Okay, thanks. And then when I make a call or get a call, the person I call, it will be from my number, my name will pop up. And when they call me, okay. And the last question is, you said you can use this for virtual appointments. Do you mean Zoom appointments with doctors, or what were you referring to?
I actually didn't bring that up. What I meant is that InnoCaption can also be used on your computer or laptop, but you're absolutely right when you mentioned Zoom calls. As long as you have a dial-in number, you can use InnoCaption, you can use Desk View to access that call from your laptop. So if you have any questions, send me an email. We have articles explaining how users are able to use Desk View with dial-in numbers.
Dial, not a Zoom call.
So a Zoom call, if the person sets up the Zoom call, they can set it up so it has a dial-in number, and you'll be able to use InnoCaption for that Zoom call as well.
Then you can't see the people if you dial in.
You would have your phone. You could. I'll send you, Kathy. Let me send you an email and share more information with you.
Okay, thank you.
No problem at all. These were great questions.
Great.
And Elliot, do you have another question for us?
Yeah, I do, Matt. It's sort of reminded me. I just, out of curiosity, to know what the latency difference is between your stenographer and your AI application.
There's none. What causes latency latency to change is connectivity. So if you're making a call from Wi-Fi, if you're making a call from LTE, 4G, 5G, if you're making a call from a rural area where your signal is not that strong, that's what's gonna make the latency change. As far as speed of captioning, we have stenographers, they're human beings. They're all extremely fast. There are some that are even more extremely fast than others. So that does change a little bit, but the baseline between AI and captioning, it's pretty close right now. It's more of the nature of the call and why you choose to use one versus the other.
Yeah, because I think one of the big breakthroughs of your technology compared with the legacy landline systems was that it was much, much faster, much less delay. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a remarkable, secret sauce you guys have on that one. But recently I haven't played around. I've been using mostly AI, so I haven't played around with a stenographer to see how much difference there is. But you're saying there should not be much difference?
No, and I'd encourage you to give it a try. Like I was just talking to Kathy about making that switch in that call. If you call the next person that you use InnoCaption with, go ahead and play around with that switch so you can see it for yourself how close they are. Now, you mentioned when we started, we only had stenographers. We did not have AI whatsoever. And we were a little bit faster than what people were used to. But that's because we always had card providers. We never used revoicers. And revoicers is what usually caused that delay that people were used to with landline phones. When we launched, we went straight to actual card providers. That's really what was able for people to have that conversation without long delays.
Because some of the landline systems, you get 5 or 10 second delay, and the caption, it was almost useless.
I will not agree or disagree with you, Elliot, but I'm aware.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Does anybody else have any other questions for us?
Carrie, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, there was a question raised in the chat about the VA. I think it was it was early on by Jim Rao. So could we just get to that? Was that addressed in our conversation?
Yes, and I let Jim know that I actually don't know the answer for that question right now, but hopefully I will by tomorrow because we are scheduled to meet with the VA team from San Francisco, close to you guys. So I will bring this up to them and I will, Carrie, I'll include you in the response if you'd like to know what the answer is for the VVC, right, Jim? VVC, yeah. Great. Yeah, I'll let both of you guys know what the answer is on that front. Sally, yes, we see you. And you're muted, Sally. Sally, we can't hear you.
Sally, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Matt, I'd like to have some of those brochures that you mentioned to pass out to our members whenever we have in-person opportunities to do that.
Great.
And
Let me know if you ever need more, Sally.
Well, it looks like there's no more questions unless I'm missing something. Neil is back. Neil has a question.
Oh, Neil, you're muted.
Oh boy. Anyway, thank you. It's not so much a question as I just wanted to say I've tried. There are other apps online, and I've tried them, and for me, InnoCaption has led. They, as far as I know, you came out first, and you're constantly working on the upgrades, and I'm really happy with it. I think there probably 3 times in the past 8 or 9 years that I've been using it in a caption, I had a problem. It was usually something like my phone, I couldn't hear the voice on the phone. I'd press the button and it still wouldn't work. And almost every, well, not almost every time when I asked for help, they said, just reload the app and see if that works. And I did, and it always did. So, it wasn't often there were problems, but the service for me, anyway, the service has always been right there. And, whenever there was a problem, it was fixed, and it wasn't that often. So I just want to say thank you once more to Matt and to the InnoCaption team for making something that really brought me back to the ability to speak to people on the phone, because my wife, I depended on her very much for all my calls going out and coming in. And it was often a frustrating experience for the person I was speaking to, for my wife, and for me, because there was this constant relay back and forth. And sometimes I was talking while she's trying to listen to what the person on the phone was saying. This was just so direct and so quick. I happen to be a person who likes the automated captions most of the time because they're so accurate and fast. Of course, it's probably a few milliseconds faster than somebody typing on a keyboard, but either way, it works great. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Neil, for your amazing feedback. And I know you've been with us long enough to know that things were not as stable as they are today. So we really appreciate your loyalty and your constant feedback as well. And that's just another way for me to bring up the fact that if you guys have any suggestions, any concerns, any questions, if you need help with anything, don't give up on the app. Don't give up on InnoCaption. Let us know. You can email me if it's a technical issue. I'll connect you guys with our support team. We do have a lot of people, all of us at InnoCaption, we're doing this because we care. So to hear that you're able to feel connected again, that's the end goal for every single one of us. When we're interviewing people to join the team, we always ask them, why do you want to do this? And if the answer is not because I want to help people, we look for other candidates. So thank you again, Neil, for sharing that. We love getting that type of feedback, knowing that we're making a positive impact in the life of our users. There's no better job than that. So thank you for letting us know.